Okay, hi everyone. Dr. Downing here. This video is going to be about the course timeline. So let me share my screen and let's dive in. So I'm going to zoom out and zoom in. It is something that I'm going to emphasize in technical writing and in document management in general. I'll teach lots of keyboard shortcuts. So I'm holding down the control button and I'm using the wheel on the mouse to zoom in and out. Very useful for a variety of things. I'm noticing that I need to update this from fall 2025. Let me go to this. Oh, it must be in the header. Okay, I'll get back to this in a second, but I need to make that change. The PDF that is in front of us, right? The PDF stands for Portable Document Format, and we will be using this for your assignments in the class for your final versions. I've talked about that in other places, but I'm just emphasizing that again, because one of the things that turning your work into a PDF does is it mimics the impression of a finalized printed document, even though we haven't printed anything or used any ink. But it is a technique that is used by professional writers to identify any issues. So if this were, for example, if one of these columns were to be a little too wide and jump onto the next page, I would know that immediately. It's tougher to see. I mean, you can figure it out when you're working in Excel, but I mean, as soon as you do this, it gives you the truth right away. And this is exactly what I want, except for the date. So zooming in and out. I will also do that regularly to your work in class because it's easy to spill onto a second page either with like an orphan or a widow, meaning extra sentences or words that just spill onto the second page. It's not what we want, or a blank second page, which happens a lot actually. So, yeah, word to the wise. Okay, so the way the timeline then is designed, single page PDF, printable for you. Hang it on your refrigerator if you would like to do that. It tells what we're going to be doing in each particular class and the point value. So we've got a date here, January, February, etc. The class number, we meet 28 times, 14 weeks, and then what we're doing in class. So you see here, for example, there's a welcome roll call. And then from that point forward, there's going to be a roll call for each individual class. So coming to class, just coming to class gets you 20 points. If you miss class, you're missing, you're starting to lose points. So don't do that. If you have an excuse, there's no penalty, but if it's casual absence, then yeah, there's a consequence there. I want to get us going on a calendar. I want to see some evidence of that from all of you. Then we've got videos. We've got the general welcome video, which is longer, and that's worth 50 points. And then we'll watch the syllabus video and the timeline video. So the whole first course session is worth 140 points. And this is what we're going to be doing. I very much teach my classes like a video game, meaning you show up, you log into the game, right? You load the game, and then you go around and you find things. What is this thing? Submit things, all of that stuff, and it racks up the points. Ding, ding, ding. Come to class, do the work. That's how the course works. Class number 2, roll call, email signature. We'll talk about that. Resume draft, so you can start to look ahead. If I were you, I would find my resume. Do you have a LinkedIn account? We'll do a connections with classmates session in class. I'll show you how that happens. And then there's a Wikipedia article on technical writing. I want to get you started there. Class number 3, roll call. I'll give you feedback on resume drafts. So you've got a resume draft that is due here. It can be sloppy, it can be minimal, but you need to get it cleaned up. I'll give you feedback on the drafts during class 3. We will go into a topics roster where you start to think about what your individual topics are for each of the assigned genres: tech product, medical, legal, science. We do a recipe in there as well. We actually start with the recipe. And then here we go. I'm anticipating myself. We'll develop the recipe draft. The recipe is basically an in-class assignment. You should not be spending tons of time with this outside of the classroom, but there are certain expectations. There needs to be a narrative. There needs to be ingredients, and then instructions for how to combine and then bake the ingredients. And then there's nutritional information that comes at the bottom. So I'll take you through all of that. You can look at various models, and then you're going to write your resume, your recipe. Right? So then you see the next class, submit resume final. here. Well, I guess that's recipe, resume. I'm getting a little caught up in that. But what I want you to see here is that a draft is due, and then either next class or next week, the final version is due. And with the recipe and the resume, those should be fairly simple at the beginning. I'm pretty lenient. It is basically for me to comb through all the entire class and say, let's see the resumes. Some of you will have them, some of you won't. All right, I'm not going to go through all of these individual lines on this, but you're getting the idea. Some things I'll point to then. We're going to do the tech product draft. And I suppose it would be useful for me to have a list of all the individual assignments, which I'm working on. So I will make that available. But that's how it's going to go. Tech product then is the idea behind this. I'll give you that much information. You choose a technological problem, a technological topic. I'm sorry, and then you write. I'm having too many thoughts at once. It could be your phone. So then again, I'll take you through what is it, who manufactures it, how much does it cost, what are the features, is it an upgrade over a previous version? So with a phone, for example, there's storage capacity and it's got numbers associated with it. We will look at website. Amazon is very useful for this, but you can find all kinds of specs all over the place. And then you're just going to recreate some of the specs in a way that is digestible for an end user. So again, if I'm at a trade show or something and I walk up to a booth and I get this handout and it says, the iPhone, the next iPhone or the next Android phone is out. What is it? And that's the form that you've created there. And we go on from there. All right. You'll also notice that there are segments. There are 4 total segments in the class, and then end of segment 1 on February 17th. The idea behind that is that, sometimes during the first 7 class sessions or so, somebody misses a class and they missed some points and they need to submit something. So, okay, catch up to me. You should be holding documentation in one hand and the assignment, the completed assignment in the other hand. Students sometimes come at me with documentation and they don't have the assignment in hand. They're like, will you accept? Yeah, where is it? You're better off making your case when you've got something in your hand. But the idea behind the segments is once we hit midnight on February 17th, everything that was due before that is done. So outside of you showing up in my office with documentation that enables you to submit something because you were in a car accident, God forbid, or anything like that, I'm going to say no. And then you can drag me in front of the department chair and the provost and all that stuff. And I will point to my timeline and say, this class is designed by segments so that students don't take the approach of missing, 8 or 10 classes and then skating in at the end of the semester and saying, here's all my stuff. I know like none of the assignments or none of the concepts of the class are really integrated in me, but here's a bunch of documentation for you to look at, Downey. I don't want to play that. So there's segment 1, segment 2, segment 3. And then at the very end, do I have an extra page? Apparently I do. See, I caught myself in my own trap. I probably went back and made a change, but I did. I made a change and it pushed things on to the next page. So I will take care of that. But I'm kind of glad that this happened so I can show you orphan material on the next page. Yeah. Let me try to get myself here to the bottom of the page. And then at the end of the class, the final exam session, that's the end of segment 4. So that's how all of that works. You'll also notice at the end here, the last several class sessions, and I sometimes make an adjustment here. There are 4 class sessions there for the how-to videos. So your masterwork in the class at the end is to create a how-to video, 5 minutes long, 5 to 6 minutes, and you're going to post it on YouTube and we're going to watch them all. So very similar to what I'm doing now. You introduce yourself with the full screen and then you share your screen and you see then where am I at here? Your face goes into the corner just like this. And then what you'll do is you will take us through, just as I'm taking you through this, some kind of how-to. Typically, there was somebody that did DraftKings. Here's how you place a bet on DraftKings. So you take us through the website and how it all works and all of that. So that, you've all seen how-to videos on on YouTube, I'm assuming. I mean, and this is centrally important to this class because, I mean, user manuals still exist in the world, but man, if you want to figure out how to do something, you're going to want the video because sometimes it's just a matter of seeing the person do the specific thing and then you've got it. So all of that. What I'm saying then is they're the last 4 class sessions. Sometimes what happens is we'll need the class on the 25th class session, for example, for something. If that happens, then right, we can use that class, and then things will get bumped into the final exam. We'll see how that goes. I'm just trying to suggest there might be some flexibility in the timeline here and there, but otherwise we follow it pretty precisely. And you'll definitely need to have your link to your video draft. You'll have to have that to me by April 23rd. That is absolutely, that's 150 points. You've got to have that submitted. Okay. Let's see. And then I'm here. So the last thing that I would add here, let me say this. Why is it being weird? There we go. So you'll see throughout the course syllabus, review, discuss, and comment on models. I may have mentioned this before. This will also include general discussions about things. Again, if things start flowing in class and we start talking about, we really start getting into a conversation about AI and what it means for the future and what it means for your lives and jobs and what does it mean to professional writing majors, communication majors, and others. What do you think of it, right? If we really get going on something like that, then that's what it'll be about. So we won't be talking about models necessarily. We're going to be talking about topics in technology, which we're surrounded by. We'll probably talk about the use of cell phones as well. So that would be another one. But I'm just putting in this language in here so it's sort of a fallback. We're going to review, discuss, we're going to look at other models, or we're going to make the choice to talk about other things. So you'll see that language here repeated, and then and the comment part and comment on models. So you're going to, I'll create a folder on the Google Drive, and you'll put just this, you'll put your page there and put your name on it, and then you'll say my thoughts on AI, and then we'll look at those comments. We'll share our perspectives. Okay, I think that covers everything. So then I stop my share, and then I come back to this view, and I say goodbye. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.